Your higher self is calling. Are you listening? Have you ever felt like two people living in one body? Welcome to the chosen bloom. This is more than a channel, it's a sanctuary for the awakened. If you're here, you're not lost. You're being called. There's the you that gets caught up in traffic jams, deadlines, and endless worries, reacting to every email, every criticism, every small disappointment. Then there's another you, quieter but infinitely wiser, watching from somewhere deeper. This other you remains calm when everything falls apart, sees the bigger picture when you're lost in details, and somehow always knows the right thing to do. If this message finds you, it's not an accident. The chosen ones are waking up. If you've been seeing 444, it's not just coincidence, it's confirmation. A sacred signal from your higher self, trying to break through the noise. Comment 444 if something deep in you has always known. You weren't meant to live an ordinary life. You were meant to remember who you truly are. You're not imagining this. We all carry within us this profound duality that shapes every moment of our existence. There's the ordinary self entangled in daily responsibilities and reactive emotions, and the higher self, that luminous aspect of consciousness that observes with clarity, understands with depth, and guides with wisdom. These aren't separate people but complementary facets of your complete being. The higher self stands as an eternal lighthouse amid the storms of ordinary consciousness. Unlike the flickering awareness that gutters in every emotional wind, this inner beacon maintains steady radiance regardless of external circumstances. It possesses an unshakable foundation built upon truth, wisdom, and unconditional love. Yet despite this constant illumination, we often stumble through darkness, our attention so consumed by immediate demands that we become blind to the very light that could guide us home to ourselves. This inner lighthouse doesn't call out with demanding urgency or compete for attention like the clamoring voices of fear and ego. Instead, it emanates guidance with infinite patience, waiting for that moment when we pause long enough to notice its presence. It understands that true wisdom cannot be forced upon consciousness, but must be recognized and welcomed through our own conscious choice. But here's the question that changes everything: can you tell when it's your higher self speaking versus when it's just your anxious mind chattering away? Learning to differentiate between these voices represents perhaps the most crucial skill we can develop. Consider a radio operator in a storm who must carefully tune their equipment to receive the one clear transmission that can guide them safely to harbor. Our minds operate in a similar field where countless thought frequencies compete for attention. The everyday mind generates endless commentary, judgment, worry, and reaction mental static that often obscures the deeper wisdom frequencies our higher self continuously transmits. This recognition isn't about suppressing ordinary thoughts, but developing discernment to recognize which thoughts arise from reactive patterns and which emerge from authentic knowing. This shift transforms you from being at the mercy of every passing thought to operating from conscious choice, selecting which mental frequencies deserve attention. Understanding this fundamental truth positions you at the threshold of profound transformation. This isn't merely self-improvement, but awakening to a dimension of yourself that has always been present, waiting for recognition. The gateway to this deeper connection lies in the eternal present moment. When was the last time you felt truly still? Not just physically motionless, but deeply present, not planning the next task, not replaying yesterday's conversations, not mentally rehearsing future scenarios, but simply existing in pure awareness of now. Your higher self doesn't exist in the timeline of past regrets and future anxieties that dominates ordinary consciousness. It dwells in the eternal now, like a vast, calm ocean where the surface may be disturbed by waves of memory and anticipation, but the depths remain eternally still and clear. This present moment awareness reveals something profound: the past exists now only as memory patterns, and the future remains purely conceptual until it manifests in the present. Your higher self recognizes this with crystalline clarity. The only moment where authentic life occurs, where real choice exists, is this eternal now. Here's what I want you to try right now. Take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, what does your body feel like at this very moment? What sounds can you hear? What's the quality of light around you? This simple shift from constant doing to conscious being is where the magic begins. This involves developing what we call witness consciousness, the ability to observe thoughts and emotions without immediately reacting to them. Like stepping back from a painting to appreciate its full composition, this perspective allows you to see life's patterns with greater clarity. This alignment deepens through conscious breathing, not as technique, but as return to natural rhythm, connecting you to now. Each breath becomes an anchor, reminding you that life happens now, where your higher self patiently waits to share wisdom. The quality of your attention itself becomes communication with your deeper nature. The language of your higher self operates on frequencies far more subtle than verbal chatter. This communication resembles how nature speaks through patterns, synchronicities, intuitive knowing, and felt sense rather than literal words. Like an experienced gardener reading subtle signs indicating what each plant needs, developing this communication requires cultivating sensitivity to how wisdom expresses itself through your being. This attunement happens when you create clear mental space, like clearing debris from a mountain spring so pure water can flow freely. The debris consists of endless mental commentary and judgments that cloud direct perception. When these disturbances settle, spacious awareness remains where your higher self's guidance can be clearly perceived. As Lao Tzu observed, dwelling in past experiences generates depression, while preoccupying with future scenarios creates anxiety. True peace emerges from resting in the present moment, not as escape, but as the most skillful position for engagement. Think of tuning into your higher self like finding your favorite radio station, adjusting attention until wisdom's signal becomes unmistakably clear. The journey toward deeper communication involves embracing the full spectrum of human experience. Life unfolds as a river of experiences, some flowing gently, others rushing turbulently, all ultimately merging into the vast ocean of wisdom your higher self encompasses. Each experience, joyous or painful, serves as raw material for consciousness expansion, offering lessons that refine understanding and deepen capacity for wisdom and compassion. Consider your life story as chapters in an epic novel where early struggles provide foundation for later wisdom, and challenging relationships become catalysts for greatest growth. Your higher self perceives this larger pattern with perfect clarity, understanding how each thread weaves into the greater tapestry of your soul's evolution. The key to navigating all experiences lies in the art of acceptance, not passive resignation, but mature recognition that resistance to what's already happening creates additional suffering. True acceptance involves meeting each moment with open awareness, neither grasping after pleasant experiences nor pushing away difficult ones. Wayne Dyer observed that one of the most powerful decisions involves choosing the kind of universe you believe you inhabit. When you approach each moment with acceptance, seeing challenges as growth opportunities, you align with a supportive universe and create clear channels for communication with your higher self. Life reveals itself as an intricate mosaic of experiences, a continuous journey of spiritual evolution. Each encounter provides opportunities for consciousness to expand and mature. Just as a seed requires resistance from soil to develop strength, your spirit requires the full range of human experience to flourish into magnificent potential. This flourishing lies in recognizing your higher self's subtle communications amid daily life's noise. As Rumi expressed, what you seek is seeking you. Your higher self continuously reaches toward your awareness, offering guidance through intuitive insights and synchronistic events. However, responsibility for cultivating this communication rests with you. This requires developing discriminating awareness, distinguishing between different qualities of thought and perception, recognizing which arise from fear-based patterns and which emerge from love-based wisdom. This awareness develops through mindful observation, watching your experiences with compassionate curiosity rather than harsh judgment. Your higher self serves not as separate entity, but as the very essence of your being, the core of authenticity, wisdom, and love, representing your truest nature. It's the part that remains calm in emotional storms, sees beyond temporary circumstances to eternal principles, loves unconditionally even when your personality feels hurt. Connecting with this aspect requires patient attention, like fine-tuning a sensitive radio to receive a powerful signal. As you quiet mental chatter and open to receive rather than control, the static of ego-driven thinking clears, revealing the crystal-clear transmission of inner wisdom broadcasting continuously. Rumi captured this truth: you are not just the drop in the ocean, but the entire ocean in each drop. Expanded consciousness reveals that you and your higher self aren't separate entities, but different aspects of one unified being. Your higher self isn't something to reach, but something to remember as your own deepest nature. Learning to interpret your higher self's communications requires developing intuitive literacy, reading the language of inner knowing through feelings, bodily sensations, and direct recognition of truth. This language bypasses rational proof, communicating through immediate resonance in your being's depths. Einstein understood this: the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, while the rational mind is a faithful servant. Unfortunately, culture often reverses this relationship, training us to rely exclusively on analytical thinking while neglecting intuitive wisdom. But how do you know when you're truly hearing your higher self versus your ego? This is where most people get stuck, and it's absolutely crucial to understand the difference. The primary challenge lies in distinguishing between ego's voice and authentic inner wisdom. Your ego operates like a demanding child, constantly seeking attention through fears and complaints, speaking in the language of separation and limitation. Notice how it feels when ego is driving you: feel agitated, defensive, like you're fighting against something. Ego sees life in stark dualities requiring struggle and resistance. Your higher self, it communicates with the gentle authority of love and unlimited possibility. Pay attention to how different this feels. Its guidance leaves you feeling peaceful, expanded, and somehow more connected to life rather than separate from it. Where ego sees problems requiring struggle, your higher self perceives growth opportunities and creative responses. Can you recall a time when you just knew something was right for you, even if you couldn't explain why logically? That quiet confidence, that sense of rightness, that's your higher self speaking. Rumi's insight that silence is the language of God, all else is poor translation, points toward creating quiet spaces where subtle communications can be clearly received. In stillness, your higher self's guidance becomes as clear as a bell ringing in mountain air. Here's something powerful you can do right now: think of a decision you're currently facing. Notice the difference between the voice that analyzes pros and cons frantically versus the quiet knowing that simply feels right or wrong. Which one brings you peace? Which one opens possibilities rather than shutting them down? Developing consistent spiritual practices provides the foundation for maintaining this clear communication. These function like spiritual exercise, strengthening your capacity to receive guidance while creating stable channels for ongoing dialogue. Meditation creates mental stillness necessary for your higher self's voice to emerge clearly from background noise. Through consistent meditation, you recognize different qualities of consciousness, distinguishing between restless ego thinking and peaceful wisdom awareness. You develop familiarity with spacious silence within which thoughts arise, discovering this silence isn't empty but full of potential and intelligence. Mindfulness extends meditation's clarity into daily activities, learning to engage fully while maintaining awareness of awareness itself. As Ram Dass observed, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. These practices transform spiritual development from occasional activity into continuous awakening that infuses existence with meaning and purpose. The recognition that your higher self serves as internal guide represents the most profound realization possible. This inner wisdom constitutes your being's essence, consciousness that has witnessed every experience and learned from every challenge. When you establish conscious communication, you enter unity state, inner harmony naturally expressing as greater peace, creativity, and effectiveness. This internal alignment creates field effects extending beyond individual experience. As inner life becomes harmonious, harmony radiates outward, affecting relationships, work, and circumstances. Decisions flow more intuitively, synchronicities occur more frequently, as if the universe itself supports aligned intentions. As you deepen this alignment, you experience yourself less as someone occasionally receiving guidance and more as continuous collaborator with divine intelligence. Your higher self provides wisdom and perspective while human will contributes intention and effort to manifest guidance practically. This represents co-creation, participating consciously in consciousness evolution. Ralph Waldo Emerson captured this: once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. When decisions align with your higher self's deeper intelligence, they tend to be supported by forces beyond individual control, not through supernatural intervention, but through coherent intention's natural tendency to organize resources in its favor. Learning to dance in harmony with your higher self transforms you from passive recipient of circumstances into active participant in creating reality. Each choice becomes opportunity to express deepest values and contribute to consciousness healing and evolution. Your life becomes unique artwork expressing the particular combination of gifts and purposes only you can manifest. This collaboration doesn't guarantee challenge-free existence, but ensures whatever arises can be met with greater wisdom, creativity, and resilience. Problems become puzzles rather than burdens. Setbacks become redirections rather than failures. Through ongoing dialogue between human awareness and divine wisdom, you discover you are both author and protagonist in an epic story of awakening, one that reveals the seeker and the sought have been united all along.